emergency phone.
Hi, Dr. Bill DEAGLE here.
Hi, Bill. This is Carrie Cassidy, and Bill Ryan is with me right here.
Bill, good morning.
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay?
Hi. Yes. Can you hear me fairly well?
Yes, we can hear you very well. Hi, this is Carrie Cassidy and Bill Ryan from Project Camelot. It is very early in the morning in Australia, where we are attending the Nexus conference. We have gotten a very important phone call from Bill DEAGLE this morning, and he is on the line. He wanted to tell the world what he is seeing. We have already had a small phone call, and today is Sunday, October 5th, 2008, and Bill and I have already spoken briefly. We compared notes. It seems that the information he is getting is coinciding exactly with the information that I have gotten and have not spoken about or released.
And it's Saturday. It's Saturday, October the 4th in California, Bill. Is that correct?
It is indeed. Yes, it's Saturday, October the 4th in California, and it's around 6 minutes after 1 p.m. Pacific time.
Okay.
Okay, go right ahead, Bill, and tell me what you have told me.
For several years now, I've been having some fairly powerful visions, and visions sometimes come in what I call shards or fragments, and sometimes it'll be what I call a final catalytic event or a vision that'll pull them all together so you can see all the pieces of the puzzle come together. The best way to describe this is, and I described this, of course, in our talk on Sunday last, that people that are really what I call connected, they are, if you want to call it, like the retinal cells in the back of the body of mankind. They can see the light, in other words, or the images coming. And as the images start to come together, there's one of their jobs is, in a sense, to receive that and then translate it through the body. In various cultures, whether they're considered like the Hopi medicine man or the prophets of ancient Israel or other, there's always a percentage of people in the population that from their bloodlines, their genetics, and their spirit DNA, they're we call very connected or intuitive. And of course, you know, I'm one of those. And there's many, like I've just watched a portion of an interview with Miriam Delicato, and she's another one.
Yes, that's absolutely
this morning what happened, and to describe this, if you've ever read portions of the Old Testament Bible, you'll see that sometimes that these ancient prophets, what they would do is go to literally the back of a cave, and they would, you know, put on sackcloth and ashes, and they would kind of literally grieve in the spirit for what's coming, and try to intercede to actually change the timeline of the corporate body of mankind around them, like the ancient nation of Israel, or say the Hopi Indians, or knowing where to go to places of refuge. And the best way to describe this is I would call spirit pain, almost like a pain that's searing pain that's just like the most intense pain you can imagine, but not in the physical body, but in the spirit, starting from the top of my head and going right to the soles of my feet. This morning coming in spasms, almost like contractions, like a delivery, lasting so many minutes and then just letting go, and just you know, tears and a feeling of terror and images of people, literally colors gone, and you know, kind of a bluish faded light, and people literally spinning around, holding the sides of their heads, screaming in terror, not knowing which direction to go. A feeling of unleashing and knowing that whatever's going to happen, even if the events don't all happen, they're going to start on Tuesday, the 7th of October. And starting to go back again.
Okay, Bill.
It's so intense. It's hard to describe it. It's almost like you can feel this intense kind of terror coming over the whole body of mankind that you can feel palpably. That's so powerful. Think of the most painful thing you've ever had, let's say like a root canal or a broken bone or something where it's so intense you can actually almost see spots in front of your eyes. Think of that in the spirit. That's what I feel. Yeah.
Okay, Bill, I totally understand where you're coming from. I really, really do. And
yeah, it's very strong. And I had this happen before. I had this happen before Oklahoma City, before 9/11, before Katrina, before the Aceh tsunami, right before the attack with tectonic weapons on Sichuan, China. Each of these I had, what I call, the best way to describe it is a night terror, or a feeling sometimes coming in little flashes lasting seconds to minutes, over weeks and so on, and then finally kind of like a crescendo rising towards something where it's going to culminate, and then the images start to pull together from these little broken shards into a full image. And this morning, that event is starting to happen. They're all coming together. And I'm not sure exactly all the events, but I believe the economic things that have happened in the last few weeks are a part of that whole process. And
okay.
I can hear the blue angels, by the way, over my head, because they were really near Miramar Air Force Base. We're right beside Miramar and just south of Pendleton.
Okay.
What I see is a kind of terror that makes 9/11 pale. It is a kind of a horror that is economic, and I see people spinning around in terror from destruction, like a bomb going off. I can feel burns. I can smell burning human flesh. I can feel their physical pain, their absolute stark paralysis of the horror of everything that's happened to them, of the survivors, and it makes me shake inside. It's just like, and you want to intervene, you want to somehow stop it, and you're trying to, but you can't stop it. We're praying, and that's what I've been doing this morning, is saying, how do we avoid this? But I can feel it coming. And this Bailout, I found out in the spirit, because I would get what I call spirit knowledge, was actually a willing blood sacrifice. Because if you think of the work of a people, literally exchanging their time, which is their blood, for money, all money is blood. It's basically your time on this world. You're allotted time converted into a means of commerce, and you exchange that for goods or services. And when the Congress did this, it was a willing blood sacrifice to the global Luciferic financial system, and it's a preparation for a sacrifice of America.
Okay.
So I believe that the next major event will be a false flag in the United States. And I don't know if it'll happen on the 7th, but I know that the forces will be unleashed on the 7th. Something's going to happen on the morning of October 7th that's going to unleash the forces that are going to result in, I see martial law coming. I see financial collapse. I see empty shelves. I smell the smell of violence in cities and gunpowder. I see troops marching. I see blue hats. I see black ski masks. I see all kinds of terror things happening. And I see strange signs in the heavens, too. I see a sky that's red, a red sky with clouds, and I see objects in the sky, and I'm not sure what they are, but I can see some strange things happening in the heavens.
Bill?
Yes.
We have all between us spent time figuring out what sorts of events these might be. As best as you can apply your intellect and analysis to this, what do you think you are looking at in the real world?
I'm not sure in the terms of the timeline, but what I see in my spirit, I see a financial collapse preceding a blamed on Al-Qaeda nuclear event happening in a U.S. city or one or more cities.
Okay,
I see people.
Bill, do you see where this could be happening? I mean, I personally have had similar visions, so I have an idea of where this is, and it's totally okay if you don't want to say where you see this.
Well, the thing is, I've known in the physical that they've been doing operational war games, just like the miniseries Jericho we discussed in the interview on video. But I'll just go back a bit to back in probably be the I think it was 1987. I was traveling on I-80 just south of Chicago, and I had what I call my visions. And in literally the blink of an eye, like the 50th of a second, I can be gone in the spirit